Hey there, gargoyles. I am the adventurer, the bright letter, rap name Acolyte. The following are recitations of a four-part rap song. 8 verses I will perform as poetry. Story of a King, Prelude. This is a harsh land, home of the unjust and impatient. They mean to keep no one, but who stands for them with no emplacement? But you are in a position to be king for good and right. There's a lot to do, says his father, and closes his eyes for final night. Now King has a lot on his agenda with this greedy land. Stabilize them and keep control of what's in his hands. If it comes to war, he inherited a fine blade, but he will govern and show the fine man his father has made. No longer the young adult he was when he was tasked with the kingdom. He does all he can do, but the people barely treat him. How can he rule a place with such a flaming state of mind? His rule has been hard. He thinks it's time to leave it behind. The life of a nomad he lives for many years. Not a lot of torment, but to him, a life of fears. He goes to take his place once more, but the worlds won't bend. This land is no longer good, but you will be king if you can mend. The story starts with hardship, and him stepping down from the crown. Can he go from nomad to king again? The quest's reason is sound. The story starts with hardship, and him stepping down from the crown. Can he go from nomad to king again? Can the land's peace be found? A challenging start, a path many shy away from. This king goes with an inclination of a future home. There's something in his heart that pulls him through all the bad. It's that one day it will be good, and one day he will be glad. He searches scrolls and books for answers, parchments riddled with writings. He finally finds something of use, words of a dungeon in hiding. It's far to the northeast. Prepare with a big feast. It's bare with no fresh eats. Have sturdy shoes for hikings. Was a battle meant for high kings, dangerous and prone for liking, because the dead showed that no way this place's wrongs were for rightings. There's a message between all of these warnings for sure. If you'd survive passing the entrance, you'd find help less or more. He brings us to the royals. They say if you don't get help directly, you'd still be crowned king for surviving. Go for rightness erectly. The story starts with hardship, and him stepping down from the crown. Can he go from nomad to king again? The quest's reason is sound. The story starts with hardship, and him stepping down from the crown. Can he go from nomad to king again? Can the land's peace be found? Let me tell you of a story about a king who was lost, attempting to make things right whatever the cost, and sever the cross. Words of Christ have not saved him, and now he stands at the dungeon forced to brave in. Axe in hands, as a wretched beast stands, lunges at him forcefully. It didn't stand a chance. Cuts through the head, blade deep in its skull. The king wipes the blood off his face and stands tall. And then he moves on, past the carcass of the fallen, becomes aware of a ghost. Through the caves it is calling. He meets the ghost in a corridor with a grand lake. The ghost tells him there's a prize he has for him to take. At the bottom of this water is the corpse of his daughter, brought here after she was brutally slaughtered. He wants her back so he can look upon her face. The ghost says your prize is heavenly grace forever. Story of a king, epic forever. Epic forever, it'll be epic forever. Forever, forever, epic forever. Story of a king, epic forever. He dives in the cold water. It gives him chills. He knows he can do this, it's just a matter of will. Searching in the water, wide eyes burning, no sound at all, his once strong stomach churning. And then he comes across a frail figure from afar. As he swims closer, he feels he's found a fallen star. glowing radiantly. She has to be from heaven. He hurries now. His lungs have 6 seconds, maybe 7. One arm around her, as he arrows for the surface. But the ghost has gone now. He wonders what was the purpose. He looks to the girl and sees a smiling face. He asks her name. She says, "My name is Grace." All is well now for the king this past year. Grace is now queen, though her face wears a tear. The king wipes it away as she grabs his shoulder. She looks into his eyes and says, "Your quest is not over." Story of a king, epic forever. Epic forever, it'll be epic forever. Forever, forever, epic forever. Story of a king, epic forever. The king's quest is not over, there is a gem. The king's quest is not over, there is a gem. The king's quest is not over, there is a gem. It makes the queen complete, and the king's prize will be full. He asks, "Will there be a prize?" She asks, "Do you need one?" "This gem makes me whole. Plus your first prize is not all one. It's blue, and at the bottom of the lake where you rescued me, another gem can be found, in the dungeon with a prize to beat." She whispers in his ear and says, "Take this to heart." Another one was on a quest. In the dark with his heart, he leaves swiftly. Cape following, picked up in the breeze of his stride. She didn't have time to say who the prize is for is wide. It is a thing of perception, but no matter. He makes it to the entrance. What does he see when he enters? The beast who left at his presence. He looks closer and sees it's not a beast, it is a man, and he resembles the ghost, to say the least. He makes it to the lake and hopes the gem's not hard to heft. He grabs the shining jewel with ease, with 4 seconds left. He searches for the red one and finds it in an open case. Once held, he hears a moaning. He wears terror on his face. King's quest is not over, there is a gem. The king's quest is not over, there is a gem. The king's quest is not over, there is a gem. The queen needs it to be complete, and the king's prize will be full. He slowly makes for the entrance, fear shaking his essence. He did not bring his axe, but he thinks he can win if it lessens. The door is in his sight when the figure stands from the floor. The man is alive. The ghost is a ghost, no more. The man explains that he thought the king was there to help. When he reached for a hug, he was struck down without a yelp. He sees the red gem in his hand and says, "You brought me back clean. Good thing I stand for good. I had the choice of haunting me." The king returns with the queen's father. The three rejoice. The queen takes the blue gem and says, "You made the right choice." He asks, "Is the prize full?" She says, "Yes, with one last remedy." She smiles and says, "The gem allows for fertility." He holds her close and says that he loves her with passion. The man explains that his prize was not one of ration. It's not directly to him, but the next in line heir. It's in his blood, but without the quest, it wouldn't be there. The king's quest is not over, there is a gem. The king's quest is not over, there is a gem. The king's quest is not over, there is a gem. The queen needs it to be complete, and the king's prize will be full. Part 3. The prince with heavenly grace, the most precious jewels in the land. The prince longs for love, truly this will be grand. The prince with heavenly grace, the most precious jewels in the land. The prince longs for love, truly this will be grand. The red and blue jewels of life, tucked away and held safe. The prince is at a ball. He feels this is his place, but no one treats him like it, ignoring his words and his stance. He sees a princess that his heart sings for, just from a glance. He approaches, and the crowd she's in won't be bothered with him. They talk of their worth and shoot glares that somehow hit within. Finally, a prince turns and says, "What do you think you're worth?" He blurts, "Two gems that hold resurrection and birth." Midnight now, and he asks to speak to her. She says that won't do. She looks at the clock and says when the day comes anew. He goes home and feels a crumpling deep within his belly. He doesn't tell his father he spoke of the gems already. He was to speak to no one about them, but when he was to be wed. And now there's unknown danger in his mind. He lays in bed. What will come of this? Has he brought his kingdom to ruin? He goes to sleep before he even thinks there could be trouble brewing. The prince with heavenly grace, the most precious jewels in the land. The prince longs for love, truly this will be grand. The prince with heavenly grace, the most precious jewels in the land. The prince longs for love, truly this will be grand. Sudden war, defense is raised. The king calls upon his guards. To keep the nobles safe and soldiers fight at gates will sing bards. The king is composed, but all the commotion has him under a lot. A messenger comes and says the siegers want the gems that you got. Outraged, he screams, "How long have they spied on our home? Is there a traitor, a mad brave one, that wants power his own?" Tears streaming, the prince stands and says, "I spoke of them a week ago. This has caused trouble and hardship I didn't know." The king turns to the messenger, "Say this to the siegers. Bring the ones who truly want them. I'll fight them in this place of leisure. Just end the war and bring peace to the ones not included." The prince knows he'll see four, plus the one who brings love mooted. Axe in hands, he downs four but is taken down. As the victor goes to loot, the princess strikes him to the ground. The prince relieved, he says, "This is why you've come at their side?" She says, "And to confess my love." She holds the gems, the king's alive. The prince with heavenly grace, the most precious jewels in the land. The prince longs for love, truly this will be grand. The prince with heavenly grace, the most precious jewels in the land. The prince longs for love, truly this will be grand. Thanks for listening, Gargoyles. Look out for more videos in the future.